Hello, Bioware. My name is Sky Ainsworth, and I am applying for your writing job in Austin, Texas, for the new MMO game you guys are developing. I'm going to be including this with my written sample and my resume, and I figured that you're going to get a lot of submissions, so I wanted to do something that I can hopefully help earn me some favor, because I wouldn't mind a job where I can earn a little extra money for one thing, but in looking over the job interview, or the job interview and all the other related websites and details, several people who have been, they've had varied experiences, and they bring a lot of, their own expertise and their own experiences to the, to their job as writers. And the one problem, though, is that a lot of people would wash out of the writing program that you had established, and they were professional writers, and and the people who made it were people who had various jobs. And in my opinion, it's probably because of training. So I used to be former military, so I bring that to the table. But anyways, so I can be trained and learn anything. I took a class in Fortran. I tried a class in Java. And I just didn't get the assistance I needed, so I kind of got out of that class. But I've always been pursuing and very interested in game writing, and in particular, I think that this would be a very interesting job that I could, fulfill, for your company's opening. I work, great in group. I work well in groups. I have a BA in English, and so I wanted to respond as well to some of the, bullet points that in the job listing website. So for key responsibilities, create story concepts. My one sort of weakness, in my opinion, is that I have trouble working in a vacuum. I just can't create something out of nothing. But as soon as you start giving me details, such as like, okay, you let me know that, like, what is the setting, who are the characters, or like what sort of people can I have involved in this. So basically, yes, using the game editor provided in Evermore Nights, I'm very certain I can create something. It's just that I want to put a real polish on it, and I can learn it. I know I can learn it. But I feel like there's a deadline, or I want to hurry before the position's filled. So working. But I'm fairly good at just taking whatever properties are established and creating something. Worst thing about a job interview. Anyways, working within the framework of the critical path. So to me, what that means is that what is the player going to want to do? What is the player interested in? What is the player's driving motivation? Does he support the light or the dark? Does he have an agenda? Does he want to amass something? And he wants to pursue that. Okay, so how can you create a storyline for players such as that? So because if you want to make something new and different for players, give players that option. Say, okay, player, what do you want to do? Do you want to grind, or do you want to RPG? Or do you just want to do the social and do raid? Okay, so we'll give you these three options. And you can imagine each one has their own sort of relations and affinities and whatever. But basically, whenever they interact with an NPC, they can get whatever kind of storyline they want out of an NPC, and that storyline could be even cinematic. If you really wanted to get crazy with it, and in-game cinematic, even better. But in instance, like basically a small. I want to explain things too, because I want you to be aware that I am a very fluent and cognizant of all the minutia and little details of the MMO environment. So, so I don't want try to appear like a just some po guy, some guy who's going to say something and not back it up in any way. So I hope that's understood in that way. But anyway, it's another faux pas. But the critical path. So I also want to try to suggest like different ideas that you can pursue with this MMO. So I hope that with this, I can be viewed as an asset, to your company, and that what I can provide to you guys. But so the critical path, in my opinion, is what is the player going to want to do? is the player going to want to actually enjoy the role-playing elements, and just do things, in the game environment that would, make the environment work or make the environment seem just more alive and just like more interactive, that there is something here that, that is feels like a community, and that, this little AI character who goes about its routine has a name, has a purpose, has, whatever. Remove this NPC from the environment, and it's going to have a dramatic effect on all these other NPCs. So that's something else to consider, or in my opinion. But that's something else, is that the frequent use of instances, and in each setting of the instance, the landscape is the same, but the NPCs available are different. So, or they can be changed, so players can, kill them off, and then it would affect a storyline that they can, further pursue. But that's a whole other thing. But the idea of like the three different options, the player who wants to play roleplay, so what about the player that just wants to make money? Okay, so you can have like the sort of mercenary, seek and destroy, assassinate, go raid and pillage, go destroy this, be this kind of guy. And you can have certain NPCs that issue those type of orders. And so as a result, the player can, be more, you can wear armor more regularly, whereas the role-playing player is, can dress any other way he wants. But basically, going around in the environment, you'll see these guys, and it just makes sense, and it's just, the guys want to make money. They don't care about storyline. But if you get that rare twist, but also just make it available to all the players anyways. This is the thing you do. You're just, you're a fighter. You're crazy guy. And then the people who just want to do it for the social aspect of guilds and groups. So you have the storylines available that react to certain guilds. So by becoming part of a guild, you can open up special missions or secret missions even. So that's a way that you can engage players with your game. So sorry about using hands. But creating compelling and intriguing plots, subplots, and characters. So I hope all I said right there, could be compelling for that. Responsible for all dialogue, journal entries, and rewrites. I'm a big fan of Glenn Cook's The Black Company series. Great, gritty, just amazing detail, and just endless detail. Also, I read like pretty much all of the Hardy Boys up to 77. And I'm talking about like the 1980s version, but also the Farley Mowat adventure stories in Canada, and his Curse of the Vikings tomb, and just just great story, especially for like young kids like 12 years old and so. But let's see, maintains materials and completes writing assignments according to set standards regarding order, clarity, conciseness, style, and terminology. Definitely, I'm very very fond of deadlines, and very much of hey boss, you want to take a look at this before the deadline and tell me what you think. I would definitely not want to I want to make sure I got stuff on time and was doing more work to get more money even. So but anyways, according to set standards, I can learn standards very well. I'm very good at just adapting my style to any style that's wanted. Clarity. I hope this video has been clear. I hope I haven't said the ahs and you knows and other annoying things, ticks. Anyways, conciseness. I hope I've not been too scatological in my little application. Style and terminology. I can I can go Rasta, I can go Riza, I can just you name it, and Larasa. But reviews, documentation, and recommends revision or change in scope, format, or content. I just recently got Tabula Rasa, and I've been very detailed studying it. So you see some other videos if you're curious about like how I'm just approaching it, especially in understanding how do you create the environment for the player, and how do you make how you link the two, especially for a player that's new and a player that's experienced. So I hope I can bring that to your company. Thank you.